Heel goede middag allemaal. Morgen moet ik nog zeggen, het is nog maar 10 uur. Bienvenue tout le monde ici au Proximus Basecamp à Tubize, où le coach Domenico Tedesco va dévoiler sa sélection pour les matchs à venir de la Nations League en Italie, le 10 octobre et contre la France le 14 octobre ici à Brussel. Dus de selectie zal meteen worden bekendgemaakt. Ik geef ook nog mee dat de selectie van de min-21, die 2 belangrijke wedstrijden spelen, met name in Schotland op 11 oktober en thuis tegen Hongarije op 15 oktober. Die selectie zal vanaf 13 uur online staan. Dus de selectie van de min-21, de selection of the under-21's, will be online from 1 o'clock onwards. So now we'll start with the main topic of this press conference, which is the selection for the upcoming games against Italy and France. I'll pass on the floor to our coach, Domenico Tedesco. Welcome, Domenico.
Thank you. Good
Please.
morning. Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the 23 names, Johan Bakayoko, Sebastian Bournau, Timothy Castagne, Koen Kasteels, Maxime de Kuiper, Charles de Ketelare, Connie de Winter, Zeno de Baast, Jeremy Doku, Arne Engels, Wout Vaas, Malik Fofana, Dodi Lukebakio, Aurel Mangala, Cyril Ngonge, Amadou Onana, Lois Openda, Matt Seltz, Mattes Metz, Arthur Theat, Juri Tielemans, Leandro Trossard, and Martin van der Voort. Thank you.
Some comments to add, Coach?
Yeah, of course, anticipating a little bit the questions that will come on Kevin and Romelu. I had a long telephone talk with Kevin, where first of all, now he's injured, he has some problems, but in general he's very motivated to continue to be with us, and of course to play also the World Cup. Just he asked me to be out here for this camp and also for the Nations League. I think it's not working anymore.
Okay.
But it's okay. So he asked us to be out for this camp, also already for the November camp, to take care of his body. Now he's in a situation with some problems, and of course we understand, because in the meanwhile, you follow up all the games, especially the big teams, the big stars. If you look at the end of the season, they can achieve an amount of 70 games, including this World Club Cup. So it's an incredible increasement of loads. And that's the reason why Kevin will be out this time, and also the next camp. But when it's about the World Cup, when it's about to be important, he's back again. Romelu, a little bit the same situation. You know that he was transferred very late to Napoli. Now, even if he's playing, he's not feeling on a top level. So he asked us also, for this camp at least, to work individually in Napoli to make the next steps. And this is the story about Romelu. So similar situations. Yeah, for the rest, Julien Duraville is injured. He's out because of a hamstring injury. Also, Thomas Meunier asked us to work individually in Lille because of some problems with the calf. He has the opportunity to work there in Lille on this tandem. So it's not a big injury, we think, because you saw that he already played, or also played against Real Madrid a few minutes. But he wants to use this possibility to train there. And last but not least, Thomas Kaminski is out for personal reasons.
Oké, thank you, coach. We gaan beginnen met de vragen. On commencera avec les questions pour le coach. We beginnen hier vooraan bij Gilles de Bilde, VTM. Gilles.
Hi, coach. I see some new names: Fofana, Ngonge, Smets. Can you explain a bit the reason why you selected them?
Yeah, Mattes Smets was with us one training session the last time. We follow up, of course, his performance in Genk, even if he was ill. Lost some weights the last weeks. He's on the way back to get some kilograms plus. Yeah, he's just young. He's very talented, and we want to see him with us now for this short camp. We know that we don't have that much training sessions, but to have him with us, to show him some principles, to work with him, and to see him probably also performing. We will see. It's very interesting. The same with Malik Fofana, that is playing really well in Lyon. Yesterday evening he scored twice, but the decision was taken already before. So yeah, and Gonge for sure is let's say the biggest surprise probably, because he's not playing that much in Napoli. But last week he played a cup game with Napoli. Was really impressive. He can play a central forward. He can play on the right side, on the left side. If we don't test now, if we don't use the Nations League to see this kind of players now, we will not do it during the important World Cup qualification. So we have this camp and the next camp to see some new faces. And if we don't do it now, we will not do it anymore. So I think now is the moment.
And as a second question, Coach, how do you look at this Nations League? Because when you look at the players you don't select, the newcomers, the results we had already now, how do you consider this Nations League campaign?
Yeah, for me, it's a competition that we have to always try to win. Try to win the games. It's normal. We don't want to hide behind probably a very young. I don't know if it's the youngest selection, for sure for the last 1-2 years, for sure. We don't want to hide behind them, but of course we can speak clearly. If we would play a World Cup qualification, probably I would call other players. It's normal.
Okay, Peter van der Wemt.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Did you talk with Kevin De Bruyne about his fierce words after the last Nations League game?
Yes, we did, and of course, as I told you already after the game, Kevin is not just a big player, but also a big personality. I mean, he's taking responsibility. He took it during the Euro. We were really happy with the way he led the team and took responsibility in many situations. And so he did also now. He's our captain. And the captain is also able, and it's possible that he can speak to the team in a certain way. He never mentioned some names. So I think for us, it's good to see that he takes responsibility. Of course, he's emotional. He wants to win. And all these topics together led to this kind of thing. Yeah.
But maybe there's a difference between a captain telling the players their piece in the dressing room and before the camera.
Yeah, as I told you, he was very emotional. It was immediately after the game, but as I told you, I think he never mentioned some names, and we have to handle it. We have to manage it. The players have to manage it, and I think it was not a big topic. The big topic was made after the game, of course, from the media side, because it's Kevin De Bruyne telling something. But if I speak to all the players, I spoke to, just to mention one guy, Zeno de Bast. I think he also gave an interview. It was not a big topic, and they are leading. I mean, this kind of words, they can lead to something bigger, and I think it's fine. It's not a big topic in the dressing room.
Last question: are you not worried about the reaction, or what other players might think about, like De Bruyne, Lukaku, others saying now we're not coming for the Nations League, but we're coming back for the World Cup? About what it means for the other players. How will they react, because they have a huge, very hard program as well?
Yeah, every situation is individual. It's very individual, this topic. You are right, and we have to check every individual situation. If one player is coming because of an overload, we will take this in consideration. If a player is just playing from Saturday to Saturday, then we have to re-speak and we have to ask more questions. So every situation is individual, but here we are speaking about the best players in the world, with Kevin and Romelu for me. And then of course it's normal. And if you see the load of Man City, for instance, and if you see the story of Romelu going very late to Napoli, I can really understand, and we can support this kind of players. Yeah.
Ludo van der Wallen, Nieuwsblad.
We can discuss about Kevin De Bruyne telling that before the camera or in the dressing room. But what he said, do you agree with it? That there was not the fully complete commitment of some players against France?
Yeah, we can always do better. If you see the game, I think the first 30 minutes we have to score. We had everything under control. After we lost something, it's a little bit about us. But it's also a little bit about France playing a little bit different and more intensive than after 30 minutes. They woke up, we woke them up. And as I told you, if we score at the beginning, it's another game. If they scored a 1-0, it's a little bit different. But at the end, yeah, of course, we can do better. We can do more. We can press in an intensive way for more minutes. I don't know if it's possible for 90 minutes. But in some situations, I completely understand what the captain mentioned. So it is understandable.
So you agree
Yes.
with what he said?
Yes. For sure, in some circumstances, the player on the pitch, they have the feeling, okay, I can have some support more in this situation or in that situation on the camera than if you see the video. If you also would see this video, probably not in every situation he had the feeling he will found the right reasons. But for sure, we can continue to play in a certain way as we played in the first 30 minutes. And of course, you have some coaches or some players, they have problems with this kind of straight ways, but not me. For me, it's fine. We want him as a captain to take responsibility. Now he spoke something, and now we would immediately kill him. It's not okay. It's not okay, and I think we should handle it.
He didn't mention any names, but do you know who he was talking about?
No, I think he mentioned the whole team.
It was the whole team. Okay, then about your squad, the right back, is that not a problem? Domenico de Castagne is not playing any minute at Fulham. Meunier is not there. What's the solution on that position?
Yeah, it is, but it's nothing new for us. Since we are here, we are speaking about the same positions, every camp, from camp to camp. With Timo, the situation is clear. He's not playing. The last game he played was in the cup with all these kind of penalties, and he missed the final one, let's say. But Timo is a very important player for us, from his, let's say, qualities, but also from the personality. He's very important. And we want to support him in this difficult period, knowing, and he knows also that now at the beginning of the season, of course, the weight of this not playing is not that high, that it will be in a few weeks, in a few months. But if there is a guy that has the qualities, the mental qualities and the football-wise qualities to come back in a team, is Timo Castagne. So we hope and we think, we are sure about it, that he will change the situation. And if not, of course we have to discuss. But at the moment we want to support him. We want to see him, we need him, and that's the reason why he's with us. Yeah.
Do you follow the right back of Club Brugge, the young guy, Jonathan Sijs?
Of course.
And what do you think of him?
Of course, we follow him. We follow also Dams from PSV, even if he's playing on the left side. We think that the next step is the under 21 for both. This is what we think, that they are doing a good job, that we want to follow them up, and we would like to see them also in the under 21 performing there.
Okay, there on the left. Yeah.
Hi, coach.
Hi.
Double question. Arthur Vermeulen is not in the selection, even though during the last month when he didn't play in his club, you select him almost every time. Could you elaborate on why you didn't take him this time, and also why Leandro Trossard is back after not coming last selection, please?
Yeah, with Leo, I spoke last time, telling him that for this camp in September he will be out, because we wanted to see, for instance, Julien Duranville. Otherwise, we would not have called Julien. So that's the first reason. But for me, even if Julien would not be injured, it was clear that Leandro will be here in this camp. And I think you saw his performance. He's underlining this kind of selection and this kind of call-up, of course. And with Arthur Vermeeren, we decided that it's better to let him play now for under 21. I think we waited a little bit at the start of the season in Leipzig. How things are going now, he's playing at least a few minutes in some games. He came in now against Juventus for some minutes, but I think it's the right decision, and that's what we also explained him before now the press conference, that it's better for him to have some minutes with the under 21.
And I'm sorry to ask you that again, but because of technical issue, we couldn't record the first explanation you told us about Romelu Lukaku. Could you please rephrase it so we can have the
Yes.
sound of your explanation on why Romelu Lukaku is not there, please?
Yeah, Rom is not there because he asked us to make the next steps in Napoli, to have a full week or even more days to train there, because in a normal period, it's not that easy. He's playing in Napoli, so it's difficult to make some extra work, even if he's already doing it. But he needs this time to make the next steps. So this is the reason.
Thank you. Christophe Lieberloot, Belang van Limburg.
Morning, coach.
Morning.
About Leandro Trossard, what role do you see for him in this camp, in these matches? Will it be the role of Kevin De Bruyne, or do you see it otherwise?
Yeah, knowing Leandro, I mean, he can play different roles. He feels comfortable, I think, more on the left side. But he can play as a striker, he can play on a 10, he can play on the pocket, he can play on the wing, on both sides. We will see. I mean, we have 2 games. We have to see a little bit the constellation in the group. And then, if it's possible, more on the left side, yeah.
About Maarten van der Voort, what do you think of him as a goalkeeper? What are his strengths? Why is his selection now?
Yeah, it's a time for him. It's a time for him to join us. In many situations, we preferred to let him play with the under 21 to collect some minutes. Now, due to the personal reasons, Thomas Kaminski, let's say, told us that he will not be available. We searched for a third one, and we think that after more than 100 games in the Jupiler League, I think more than 20 games in the Europa Pokal, international games, it's a time to see him. And yesterday, I think that Max Urbanski called him. He was really happy about it. So it's a good moment. It's a good sign for him. Even if now in Leipzig he's not playing, it's not that easy for him. But to give him a sign, to see him, to give him a value, it's fine now, I think.
Final question. No Lukaku, no De Bruyne. Have you already decided who's going to be the captain this camp?
Yeah, we have some days to go, but I have an idea already. We will communicate it before the game, I think.
Okay, thank you. Fred Bleus.
Coach, hello.
Hi.
Amadou Onana is in the squad. Does it mean that he will be ready for the 2 games?
Yeah, he has a small lesion. That's why he went out against Bayern Munich last game. But yesterday he had an MRI telling us that he's positive. I mean, he's always positive. We will see from day to day. If not, we will call another player that will be called up for the under 21. So this player will be here anyway. He's available for us. And Amadou will even try to play on Sunday now with Aston Villa. But independent if he will play or not, we have to check him. And at least, I don't know, Sunday, Monday to take a final decision. But for the moment, we have him on the list.
A word about Romelu. In the first explanation, you said that Romelu asked to not coming at least for the training camp of October. Does it mean that he can, as like Kevin De Bruyne, miss the camp of November?
I hope not. I hope that he will be there in November. But we will see. I mean, it's depending on him. He can take the decision, and depending on how fit he is, I think the more games he will play with Napoli, the more he's in a certain shape. Till now, it's rare that you see him playing 90 minutes. You see that he's coming inside, or he's playing 60, 70 minutes. The cup game he didn't play. So we will see. But my hope is that he will be back in November. Yes.
The last question. The Nations League, it's a test to try something, to try new players. for the World Cup, but you need also results because there is a sports objective. Is it more pressure for your position as a coach, because there were a lot of comments about your job, and there will be a lot of comments in regard of the results against Italy and France. Are you fearing for your position, or not at all?
No, look, to feel pressure, I think in several circumstances, I told you that the biggest pressure is the pressure that we put on ourselves. I mean, we never enter a pitch saying that let's play a little bit, just to play. You know, we want to win, knowing that the possibility to win games with some players is for sure higher than with others. But for me, I mean, as I came here, you know the situation when I came here. Many players left the national team. We had to build something new, and we did it. And we have to continue this way. For me, this is the right way. Not thinking on a short term. We could think on a short term. For me, would not be a problem. You know, we can call Axel Witsel and Yannick Carrasco, and it's no problem. It's no problem, and we know what we get. Because speaking about these players, I love them. We have a really good relation. We know how they can perform. But I think now for this campaign, for this competition, it's the best solution to see other players. Because as I told you, in March, we can't do that. You know, in March, we need our stable team that is performing from camp to camp and brings us to the World Cup. I think this is the main reason. And the Nations League, yeah, it's not easy against France and Italy. I think even with other players, it's not easy. But we want to use it to give the stage and the show for this kind of young players. I think they deserve it, and it's nice and it's interesting. And if in March we have to select, and we have to think which player is the right player for the wing position or for the six. At least I want to know them, because then it's difficult to say Julien Duraville can be an option without he was here one time, you know. So at least now we know Julien, we know how he trained, we know his character, we know how he's performing, and we can judge him a little bit more. And this is the way I'm working, and nothing else.
Okay, the gentleman on the second tire, yeah.
Yazid Ouazdani from Mahmoud Media. Hello, coach. More and more players are complaining about the very busy schedule of football players, which leads to injuries. Do you think there are too many matches, and do you have any solution to remedy to this?
I have no solution because I'm not taking some decisions on which kind of games and how many games, but for sure. It's too much. It's too much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. RTBF.
Yes, about Yuri Tillemans, the last game against France, he came out pretty frustrated.
Who, excuse me?
Yuri Tillemans.
Yuri.
The last game against France, he came out frustrated. That's what we see on the camera. Did you talk about him about that moment, or did you just think that was about the game and didn't talk about it anymore?
Yes, we had a call immediately after the camp. I called him because I had the same feeling, same impression, and it was true. The impressions are true. He was really disappointed that he came out again, but we explained him he had a yellow card. If we risk to get to play 10 men against France in Lyon, I think the possibility, the risk of a really bad result is there. So of course we don't want to take the risk, and this was the explanation. He understood, and everything is fine, you know.
Thank you. Renaud, RTL.
Hi, coach. One extra question about Lukaku. Do you try to convince him to be there in October, because you don't have Kevin De Bruyne, and the leadership of Lukaku is very important in a difficult period? So did you try to convince him, or it's a general agreement between you and Romelu?
No, of course I tried. How much you can, of course, a little bit, or I don't know. I mean, I re-ask, but I think we have to take care about every kind of individual situation, and he has a special individual situation in his club.
Thank you.
Oké, nog vragen voor de coach? Encore des questions pour le coach Domenico Tedesco. Niels Pasonnier, DPG.
Mr. Tedesco, without Kevin, without Romelu, without Jan Vertongen, we will miss a lot of experience if you compare it to 1.5 years ago. What kind of players are you looking now to take their responsibility in the group during the week and in the games?
Yuri Tielemans, Leandro Trossard, of course also Wout Vaas, because he's playing nearly every game with us. Also Timothy Castagne being a little bit an older one, let's say now in this very young team. Amadou Onana can do it, even if he's young. He's a natural leader, I think. And many else. So it's the same question or the same answer as some months ago you asked me, or even now with the captain. We need more captains. We need more guys that can lead, of course. But we know that we have a really young team. We know.
Okay, last question for Gilles de Bilde.
Coach, on a striker position, because we're missing out on a lot of quality with Romelu. Lois has been struggling the last games with the national team as well for scoring. Did you consider selecting, I would say, Batshuayi again, or even Benteke, who is top scorer in the MLS, or even someone else?
Yeah, but it's the same story. Eh? I mean, it's the same story. We could do it. But then we miss to see some other opportunities. I mean, Ngonga can play the striker. Charles de Ketelaere played now the last game in Atalanta, the central striker. He can play it. We have Dodi Lukebakiu that can play at least for a few minutes. The striker position with his speed. We have Leandro Trossard that can play it. So it's the question what we want, what we want. And for this Nations League, I want to see some new faces.
But it's not like it's definitely over for those guys.
No, because how can I say, the Nations League is important, huh? But the qualification for the World Cup is also very important, and then we have a pool of players that we can really select. And if it's Michy Batshuayi, then performing the best, it's Michy Batshuayi playing again for the Red Devils. It's easy, but we need the options.
La toute dernière pour RTBF.
To follow Niels' question, do you have already now with this group a first and second and a third captain in your mind regarding the absence of your natural leaders?
Yes, I have it in my mind, but I think first I have to speak to the players. What are my ideas? Sometimes the players also say, I don't want to be the captain, so why to put pressure now? So yes, of course we have some ideas. Yeah.
Okay. Voilà, dat was het voor vanmiddag. Merci tout le monde d'être présent ici. Welcome again next time. That will be on Tuesday next week for the first press conference here in Tubize during the camp. Nog een fijne namiddag en tot later.
Thank you.